Live from RPS Studios, DePrez, Wiley 77, and Keith Stewart. Keith?
Yes, sir.
Brought to you by AutoZone. Get in the zone or get the fuck out. That's the slogan. Get in the zone or get the fuck out. Everyone who walks in, I said this before, but everyone who walks in AutoZone, they should have one customer relations person saying, "Are you in the zone?" Like, I don't know. Get out. Get the fuck out.
Man.
They would love that. People would love that.
I mean, I honestly think there's more people out there that would appreciate non-cancel culture and a little bit of transparency than there are people that would like all of the other, like, just totally weak nonsense.
Authenticity. That is branding in 20. Are you a real person? Do you speak a real voice? Are you telling me the truth? No? Okay.
Yeah.
So never let a crackhead beat you. That's
at the risk of being too self-centric, I'm going to limit the use of the word "I" today. So that's what I'm going to
do. That tweet that Anthony Kim sent, I don't know if it's an Office reference when he said never let a crackhead beat you. I don't know. I mean, I sent you the tweet in our text before this started.
Yeah. Didn't he spell crackhead wrong?
Yeah. So it may be someone said in our Discord at RPS said, I think it's an Office reference. So that'd be funny.
All right.
But then to tag the watch brand that he's sponsoring is just, I'm not sure the watch brand wanted that tweet to be the promotional vehicle for it. But hey, it's authentic.
As the first comment today comes out, #marketing. Perfect.
I will say it. That's our new theme in the Discord. Never let a crackhead beat you. You wake up this morning, you rub your eyes, and you think, what crackhead can I beat today?
Oh, man. 1%.
I think it's going to be a contentious show between you and me today.
Oh, man. All right. Let's do it.
You want to know why?
Yeah, but you know what? Like, why?
Okay. So I saw, was it Chris Powers or Stephen Hennessy tweeted out the roster of folks at Golf Digest and your picks, and 7 for 7 fade of Jordan Spieth. So we'll get to that in a second. But I've never seen a 7 for 7 fade. But even our team.
Yeah.
But you guys did it. So
yeah, and I mean, you're talking about people from Canada, California. I'm over here in New York area, like all over. How's that a flex? Nobody likes New Jersey, come on. Like, anyway, and the idea that everybody's on the same page and that guy is there. I mean, I'm always pushing out content for those guys over at Golf Digest, and we do a Monday odds drop video, and I do an article, and it's always like, who's the best value, worst value of the day, and I do it with a couple of the guys there, like CP and Hennessy, and we do these videos, and we don't tell each other what we're going to do ahead of time. We just do it, and then I kind of write the article after that in reaction to it all, right? And everybody was like, Spieth. And I was like, man, everyone is on the same page this week. Like, why is this guy in Silvis, Illinois after 9 years?
2015. Yeah,
9 years. Yeah.
He's getting ready for a win. He's boosting his President's Cup score, and he's getting ready to win the Open Championship. That's why.
I have a number of we'll call them spies, Run Pure spies, and Read the Line spies out on tour these days that love to just send me videos of stuff that I think would be funny. And I got sent a video yesterday of him practicing doing these like doohickey drills and everything in these fields, and it was like, whoa, bro. I was like, man. And they thought I'd get a good laugh out of it, but I was thinking to myself, this poor guy, right? I mean, he's well aware he hasn't won in 2 years. He hasn't had a top 10 since top 5 since January, right? And that was a limited field event that had 35 guys in it. And he's got 2 wins in 7 years. And he's the focal point of American golf. Forget Scotty. Everyone still loves Spieth. I'm out there all the time. The people, they just love Spieth. And the guy can't. It's bad.
I would argue that Tiger, Rory aside, Spieth's the biggest brand in golf.
100%. And we would be in lockstep on that.
A great Spieth is so good for golf. It's almost like he's not even a real person.
If Spieth was Scotty and playing like that, like he was in 2015,
he'd be the biggest star ever.
Oh my God. Forget it. Tiger would walk up and he would like pass him the crown. and be like, dude, it's time for you.
Well, Luke at your company, now voiceover Luke, British voice, great
Oh,
swing,
yeah.
good golfer.
Yep. Yeah, Luke Curtinine does the
Luke Curtinine, yeah.
yeah. Yep.
And I told him actually a year or so ago, and I'm not taking credit for this, but I did tell him. I said, you need to do more of this swing content. I said, it's excellent and it's very digestible and people love it.
Yeah.
And now he's become the voice of Golf Digest, it seems, a little bit.
Yeah, well, he's got a great distinct voice and he's got a sharp eye. And whenever, like, I talked to him up in Connecticut a couple weeks ago at Travelers, and I said we need to start doing some collabs, because your instruction with my betting content, boom, sky's the limit.
Well, plus your instruction too. I mean, you're a pro.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
But what I was going to say, Luke Curtinine, is that he posted a swing of Spieth on the range.
Yep.
And he fluffed it enough that it took me about 30 seconds to then back Spieth. And you're saying, no, don't do it. So I'm blaming Golf Digest again for this.
I mean, with all that Spieth's
What are you seeing? What are you seeing from a pro's angle?
That he is not comfortable with what he's doing.
Okay.
He is extremely not comfortable with where he is with his iron game. He has been really, really good off the tee. The putter's been more of a recent thing in, like, let's say the last month and a half that's gone bad, but that happens a lot when other parts of your game go south because one part is so bad. I mean, if you go back and you look through Q1 at his approach game, I mean, it's like, whoa, man, like this is like so un-Spieth-like, because like the last time he won, or the second to last time he won at Valero, I mean, he was gaining tremendously with his iron game. And I just, you just wonder about that. I mean, golly, he was doing the same sort of things at Memorial on the range. And, I stood there for 20 minutes and he hit maybe 5 real swings, and in between each one was 10 feel swings at like half speed with like, a launch monitor and Cam McCormick and Greller there and everybody just talking to him. And he's just, being Spieth and yapping away. And you're like, man, and like, we all would love him to win this week. But number one, if you miss him at whatever it's going to be, 20-1, I mean, did you really miss him? And then he's going to go back to Genesis next week to the Scottish Open or to the British Open, and he's going to be less than 20-1 in a real field? No way. I just don't.
You don't think that this could give him some lift this week? You don't think that courses do that? Well, he's been here 9 years, so but I've always been the course history truther that sometimes, like, look at Cam Davis. Cam Davis hasn't had a good year.
Yeah, I mean, one of my big
risks. He's money in Detroit.
Yeah, one of my big risks this week on my content is Adam Schenk. I think that he will find him because he's great on Midwestern golf courses. He takes a lot of pride in that. He's a really good putter on bent grass greens, and he's obviously very, very happy when he comes to TPC DEERE Run. He is it's like almost like Zach Johnson passed him the baton, right? Like this is now, this has now become your place to kind of support and push and be that guy. And I'm taking a risk there, but man, I mean, you asked me for my opinion, and I just don't see it with Spieth.
Okay, that's fair. You've been right. You've been right about Spieth all along. I'm just going to tell you that.
I mean, we talked about, all right, so go back to it was still California time. We were at Waste Management, and I said, man, I think Max Home was in a bad spot. And where's he been? Right?
I remember that. Same thing. Launch monitors, teams. Now it's bad.
I always have a famous phrase out there. People ask me all the time. They're like, what are you looking for? I said, I'm trying to find out who's working. And they're like, who's working on it and who's got it working, right? Who's dealing, right? Who's got it rolling, man? Like, who is just ready to roll? Obviously, somebody like Davis Thompson, that guy's got a ton of confidence.
Rolling.
You just totally, they talk about pitchers in the MLB all the time. I always love that. When they're pitching really good, they say they're dealing, right? Like cards, you just can't miss, that sort of thing. I love when guys are dealing, and I don't like when guys are jammed up with all sorts of training aids and chicanery all around them. And that really gives me pause, And think about it this way too. Would Spieth's pricing been the same? Because remember, pricing came out before Cantlay dropped.
No,
and Cantlay was at 11, right? Would Spieth have even been higher if Cantlay wasn't there?
Spieth had been 11s, and he certainly wouldn't. He if Cantlay had played, he wouldn't be the ownership that he projects at. People are saying, well, he's going to be 5 to 7% owned. There's no way. No way. He's going to be 20 plus percent. Just on the fact that he won. People are course history truthers. Just the fact that he won here 9 years ago. That's going to be enough. I mean, I don't know where Seamus Power came from, right? Seamus Power had a fourth here. Like it's the genesis of it is coming from somewhere, but Seamus Power feels like the most popular golfer this week on a course that I don't feel like he should be.
Or Eric Cole is another one.
That's my pick. That's a great pick.
Okay, well, all right. But first
Eric
of all,
Cole's winning, by the way.
I want to answer Chris's question because he asked a very good question. So I want to answer Chris's question there. Okay, so Spieth's always kind of slid into the ball, right? And he bows that left arm. So almost like in a way that he chicken wings it, right? And then he rotates through in order to release it. Now that makes him incredibly accurate, right? Because his impact zone is very, very long versus a lot of other golfers, right? Which, might be this long versus this long type of situation. So impact zone is where they come into the hitting area, right? Like a la Lee Trevino.
He shallows out so much?
Well, no. So what he's trying to do is he's trying to shallow out more. Spieth is. You see those movements that he does where he takes the club and he's trying to feel like it goes this way, like this, right? Because what happens is when you're in that position and he's coming through and he's holding that left elbow like that, right? If he's not underneath in that position, underneath meaning underneath this way, if he's not underneath hitting it that way, right? And he's coming over the top, which is what he's doing right now, then he's got a two-way miss. And it's obvious he's got a two-way miss. He had it with the driver. He got rid of it with the driver, but then somehow it leaked into his irons this year and he can't get rid of it. And at least when Rory misses, he always misses long and left. Right. Spieth has been known to hit blocks. I've seen him hit blocks and I've seen him hit like trap draws. And now he can't predict like where the miss is going to be. So he can't like just manage his way around a golf course. Like if you just know you're going to miss high right the whole time, then you could play for that at that level of professional. But like Spieth's got a two-way miss going. So he's trying to at the top resequence his transition. And I mean, that's really hard to do when he just went through 5 weeks with 3 signatures and 2 majors, or 5 events in 7 weeks, right? Like that's why you see him out at like Muirfield Village, which is a really stern test. And this guy's grinding. I mean, he's at TPC River Highlands. What do you finish? 63rd?
Yeah.
In a wedge fest, right? Like that's the type of place. Like Jordan used to be a great scorer because he was so good with his wedges and he was so good with his putter. So like that's what I see. Like he's continually trying to get that club to be more shallow, to leave the weight of the club, to leave the mass of the club behind him and to lag it more. So that way, when he rotates into it, that the club is not coming out and around. And then he's got to hit the brakes and he's got that. Anyway,
I think the swing that's most painful to watch on tour from good players, because I think it's changed so much, is Spieth. I just don't think it's natural to him. Do you not feel that like as a PGA professional? I
think he's a fidgeter. There's a couple guys out there that fidget a lot that just don't look like
Xander.
They're ever going to gel it. Xander sits over the ball. He camps, man. Sergio, they camp. Like they get over that ball and they like fucking strike up a fire and they're like hanging out with marshmallows, and they're like jacking that grip. You know what I mean? They're like those types of guys. They make you a lot less comfortable. I mean, at least like when Cantlay sits there forever, he's always in constant motion and it looks like he's going through a checklist, right? Like he's just like boom 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 boom, all right, hit. Whereas it's like Spieth's like I don't know, gotta hit it, boom, like, and that's what makes people anxious or uncomfortable when he's hitting it, and I don't know, maybe that was too much inside baseball, but hopefully that answers Chris's question.
No, I love it. I'm trying to get a free golf lesson out of this. That's my MO.
Yeah, I mean, we all need to do more of what Spieth is working on, which is leave the club back there and then rotate our body and let that
feel like the club's behind you. That's
the mass. The mass of the club head, meaning the head, should be sitting way back there. So we load the lag and we lag the load, right? So you just want to get that thing back. Right.
Too much scar tissue. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's another thing too. Like, I mean, he was like, what, like 21 years old, and he was looking at the hole when he was putting. And somebody asked me that one time. They said, like, what do you think about that? Jordan looks at the hole and he doesn't look at the ball, and he's the only guy that does that on tour. And I said, man, it's like owning a snake. And they were like, what do you mean? Like, you don't get bit? And I was like, yeah. I go, like, at some point you're going to get bit. Like, I don't own a snake because I don't like snakes and I don't want to get bit by a snake. I see a snake in the yard, I walk the other way. Like, I don't trust things without shoulders. So like
snakes in Jersey.
Yeah, we got snakes out there this big, right? Like, we don't like that guy played so much elite level golf. I mean, the burnout we're going to see in some of these guys, like a JT, and they just might be toast at this point because they played so much elite golf.
Yeah. I mean, A, never let a crackhead beat you, but B,
well, that's a perfect example right there. Yes. Guy, he's totally toast. He's toast.
Yeah. But B, you see, like Clanton last week, right? I mean, we were dogging him, and then Large Anthony 44, Big T.
Yeah. Big
props. I mean, that was in his core on RPS's website, and I said, "You are a crackhead," and that guy almost won, right? Because they don't have the scar tissue. Like these young guys, what do they got to lose? And I think that's where Spieth was, or JT was, and now
certainly where Akshay and Tom Kim are.
Yeah, they expanded their envelope so wide they regressed, and they're trying to chase now. And now you've got all these young guys like Aubert and Scheffler, who are just who have had better ball striking than they ever had. How do you it must be a tough mental challenge for them.
I mean, as much as they're popular, Will Zalatoris and Cam Young may be dead. They may be done. And this is the thing.
Cam Young's breakdown on the back nine forever put me in the mindset that I just don't think he's tremendously talented, obviously. He'd wipe all of us by 50 shots, no doubt. But he had it in the palm of his hands. He didn't have the juice to close. And some people got it, and some people don't. And Will Zalatoris, I think, is just broken.
He's totally broken. But both of those guys are in their late 20s. I mean, this is the thing we were joking about the other day on the Discord, and somebody, they don't have real names in there, so I don't really. So
name names. I'll know who it is. I'll dox them right now. Ghost James?
No, it wasn't GJ. It was
GJ.
I think it was the Greek Mastodon.
Oh, right? Greek Mastodon, yeah.
Right. And he was saying, like, how do I not
play? He lives in Poughkeepsie.
Like, he's like, how do I not play Keith Mitchell? And if it wasn't Greek, then he would chimed in about it. Maybe it was UNC somebody or whatever. But I mean, just use your real names. Seriously.
UNC Hodges. No, they can't. They can't because they're at work.
Oh, all right. Well,
but yeah, Keith Mitchell's the other one, right? Because now I'm being sucked back into this.
So somebody was like talking about. I mean, this is the Spieth is the best example of this whole argument, right? Of like how people just need to let go in golf gambling. You need to let it go. At the end of Houston, the next week we came on. I think that was Valero, right? And I went one and done Mitchell. I went outright Mitchell. I was like, man, there's no better place. The driver. I was like, and you don't have to be that great a putter here. He can get by. I mean, Finau finished what, like freaking second? Right. Like he's not a great putter. And Mitchell just didn't show up. And I was like, I love the Cashmere, but I said to you, I go, he's done. I'm not doing it anymore. Now, we're joking about this on the Discord, and I was like, they're like, how do I stop? I go, you just start 1 week at a time. 1 foot in front of you at a time, right? Like, right. I go, now I had to go back and count. I'm 13 weeks without Keith Mitchell. And you know what? I feel great. I really do.
So and who's the let go crew then? Cam Young, Will Zalatoris, Tommy Fleetwood. Tommy Fleetwood's a let go crew.
I'm not.
Don't do this to me.
I'm not totally there on Fleetwood because we're coming into. Okay, if it was like March, I'd say yes, but we're going over to Scotland right now, so I have a tough time saying that about Fleetwood. We all have our issues. We all got issues. I mean, that's why we're on Discord, right? Look at the name of it, Discord, right? Like it's. But like Cam Young going into the Motor City because a couple of years ago he came in runner up and like he's the guy, right? It worked out exactly how everyone thought it would that bet him. In the back of their mind, or in the front of their mind, they knew what was going to happen. Nobody thought. On a scale of 1 to 10, how surprised were you, with 10 being the most surprised, that Akshay 3-putted the last hole?
Do you want my actual answer?
Yeah. How surprised?
1.
So you weren't surprised at all?
No.
Come on.
No.
Come on.
Cam Davis is a force.
Oh, stop it.
I knew he'd melt.
Now you're just messing with me. You know, the people. You know,
here's the other one. One of one from the Discord, who's awesome. He said Jason Day. That is the other name this week that people are just, they can't quit, right?
2011.
Admittedly, I can't either, but I have quit Jason Day, and I think people need to do that.
Yeah.
Right? Is he going to have 35 birdies this week?
No. I mean, why is he there? What, to show off like the sweat pooch material for Malbin out there in the Midwest? I mean, like, why is he there? He has no reason to be there.
Why would you go to Silvis, Illinois? Why would you go to Illinois in general? There's no good I states. Idaho except.
Iowa, Indiana. You might be right.
Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, stone worst. Idaho, fantastic. That's it.
Are there any redeeming qualities to Indiana? Notre Dame, maybe?
No, it's the worst. I have to say that being Kentucky, but Indiana's the worst. I'm sorry, Antonio. I knew I'd get some Chicago people in this.
Yeah, but that's spelled with a C. It's fine.
No good H golfers, no good I states, no good golfers ever named Ben. That's it.
Well, like we do this all the time, though. It's like we project in golf betting. We're like, well, if Keith Mitchell's been absolutely unbelievable this year, he stepped up in his career as a ball striker, but if he just does this, then this will happen. It's like, and if you want to admit that you're having fun with it, like I said earlier, my reach this week is Schenk, right? He has a great course history. I'm probably recency biased and kind of, you know, like thinking about what Cam Davis did last week. And I'm like, you know what? This could be an area where no one's going to play this guy because he's been horrible lately. And maybe there's an advantage here, leverage-wise, when it comes to DFS and maybe, you know, get a couple extra win points on a placement here or something like that, you know? But like, I'm talking myself into it. I know what I'm doing. I worry about the people that are like, talk me off the ledge on this person, and it's like they just keep going back there. You gotta mix it up a little bit, right?
But that's the thing about this course. It was like in Cromwell, you know, you've seen recent winners and recent top fives, is that historically it's been this absolute spike in putting from guys you wouldn't expect. I mean, look at Michael Kim's win. It was insane. He was almost losing strokes off the tee and tee to green. Yeah. And his putting was insane. Patrick Rogers second to Bryson in 2017. Lucas Glover had a great approach game. Fratelli, he could not miss, right? So how do you predict that? You don't know, I guess.
Well, putting is the least predictive, right?
It's highest variance. And to me, like, that's why I like Eric Cole, right? Great putter. Nearly could have been contended last week, played well, right? He's a guy to me that can make the amount of birdies that we need to win this week. Mitchell, I agree with you, not a great enough putter right now to do it, but he still intrigues me. But that's what I'm looking for. I mean, the Poston could put up 40 birdies, right? The Coles, the McNeelys, the Hubbard flop leg. Spieth, you probably talked me out of on this show, and I'm going to be mad at you if he wins. Denny.
I mean, Denny would be the ultimate example of that, in that if you're just looking for a guy that's going to go nuclear with the putter, the guy does it all the time.
But most of these guys miss the cut the next start they have here. That's the testament to the variance. Michael Kim missed the cut. I think Lucas Glover did. Fratelli did.
So there's a lot of good questions coming in here, and you're getting to a question, I know, but time
I'm not
is short.
Really getting a question. I'm just talking while you read paper off your printer.
Yeah, well,
just came in a fax from the fucking president.
No, well, you think actually Biden would send a fax, wouldn't he?
Yes.
So last year I bet Cole, and I was looking at what the number was. So I bet him outright. And he was 35 to 1. And this year, and then I was looking at the numbers this year, he's 55 to 1. And he's coming off one good week. Right?
He's that good. He's that guy, pal. He is that guy.
But we bet him to win last year, and he came in what, like 30th or something?
Yeah, that was last year.
42nd. He came in 40. Okay, so his odds are worse. His finish wasn't good when we did like him, and then he hasn't been great all year. He's need a tourniquet on his strokes gain chart, and Dr. Wiley says, "Nope, we're going to play him unconditionally."
We're going to play him. It's Eric Cole, guys. Don't listen to Keith, professional golfer. This is a gut call. I'm gut calling Eric Cole right now.
I mean, so you go back to Eric Cole here. Right? Or somebody like that. And let's say Luke Big T Clanton, right? Waxes this guy.
Large Anthony, right?
Right? Like, waxes this guy. Then where are you in your headspace?
That's probably pretty bad headspace at that point. I agree with that.
Yeah. So there's a good question here. Somebody asked about Alex Smalley. Why was Alex Smalley really good here last year? Alex Smalley is an exceptionally good long iron player. He set a record on Saturday for proximity to the hole for his whole 18 holes last year. I remember this. The stat came up. It was ridiculous.
Sure.
And his average distance to the hole was 19 feet over 18 holes for the day, and he's playing 230-yard par threes. Right? The guy was phenomenal. Right? Best, one of the best ever on the PGA Tour, but the guy can't putt. But you could run with that a little bit. Can people everyone's talking about waves and everything and the wind on Friday. And I wrote an article about this today on Golf Digest. I was like, man, I really think that Friday afternoon wave is going to have an issue because two of the three par fives
right now.
Yeah. And I was basing that on the fact that, wind, something like that. The rain could be a little more fickle, but the wind tends to be generally correct within 48 hours or so. And that AM PM wave is going to get that Friday PM, and they're going to get two of the three par fives dead into the wind. They're going to get the short sixth hole, which is almost a drivable par four, into the wind. They're going to get two of the par threes into the wind, really tough. They're going to get a tough golf course. They're going to have to find places to score to keep up, to get to a dozen under after 2 days, right? Or whatever it is, 10 under after 2 days, whatever the number is on Friday, where the top fives are conceivably. And so one of the things that was interesting is that Alex Smalley represents the guys that played really good on the par threes last year. So if you look last year at the top 10, 8 of those guys were in the top 13 for par three scoring. And that kind of exemplifies the skill set that you need at this place. Everyone's like wedge fest putter. Well, yes. And this is much more like River Highlands than it is like Detroit Golf Club, because the elevation changes and the dog legs and kind of the way the golf course looks and feels and the walk and everything in general. But we're going to need some people that could do some scoring on some par threes and fours to get through that afternoon wave on Friday, or just in general, take advantage of this golf course. And that seems to be, that's where Sepp took advantage of the place.
Yeah.
And
Lucas Glover.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's two prototype guys for what I'm talking about, right?
Because Lucas Glover, historically not a great putter, but his approach game that week was elite, right?
Yeah. But that's what really separates you in approach game, is those over 200-yard shots, right? So, or on the more difficult holes, you've got 3 par fours over 475. You got the 3 par fives, and you got a couple of par threes over 200. So that gives you 8 shots right there that are over 200 with an iron in your hand. If you could separate there, you're going to do some damage. And I get the wedge fest part of it, but those are the types of guys I'd be a little bit more into. And that's why Alex Smalley and Sepp Straka were so good last year. And that's why I think ultimately Eric Cole, when he went in there, we felt great about the wedge and the putter, but we forgot that those 8 shots exist. And then that's why ultimately he finished 42nd. And that's why Denny hasn't come through there. Or, Denny last year, a year ago, he was the DraftKings #1 price player. And if you want to hitch your wagon to Keith Mitchell, which I'm not going to do for the 14th week in a row, you could at least say, hey, he could be the next Alex Smalley and get up close there, that sort of thing. But I think I'd rather go with the Davis Thompsons, the guys that have proven it lately that they could do it, or Sung Jae, or a Matt McNeely, or a further down the board, Sam Stevens, something like that. That's where
I
my
didn't like Sam Stevens last week, but he produced.
I did like him last week.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah,
no, I was going to make you apologize to me, but
I'm a fan of his. I liked him about a month ago, and he shit the bed, and I was upset about that. But I do like him, and plus he's if people are into like the whole like lesson whisperer type of thing, he's now with Joe Mayo. So if that guy's got the magic wand for whatever reason as a retired poker player, teaching golfers, then Sam Stevens could be in a good headspace. I mean, the guy bombs it. He's super accurate off the tee. Yes. And that's what gives him an advantage in a situation like this. So I don't know.
I'm starting with McCarthy, JT Poston, and Eric Cole, and I cannot be talked off that. I'm just telling you, 2 of those 3 are going to be in the optimal.
Man.
Denny McCarthy, 2 top 6s here. JT Poston, a win and a top 6.
McCarthy went into Memorial off a 5th and a 3rd, and he wasn't good there.
You can't talk me off Denny McCarthy. It's his week. I've been chasing Denny McCarthy for 2 years here.
There's a lot of hills there. You tired? That's a lot of running. There's a lot of hills there.
Explain Seamus Power's interest this week, except for course.
Well, everyone loves him at a Wedge Fest. They think about that one time they played a positional golf course at Pebble Beach, and on Friday he was up by like 6 shots. Now he didn't win that tournament, but they still think about that. They think about him winning in Bermuda, coming back on that Sunday and winning. That people love him in Wedge Fest, and he's a pretty good putter and everything. And he's got a decent course history here, but so does Matt McNeely. Yeah. I don't know.
Is it Cole or Denny? Cole's my winner. Don't heavy breathe. Speaking of Seamus Power, who performed well in Kentucky at the formerly the Barbasol, now the ISCO, ISCO, best pipe layers in the country. You're not coming to Kentucky next week, right?
No, I cannot.
Okay.
Pipe. You said pipe. Go ahead.
Yeah. So that was just my question. Whether or not you're coming next week, and you're not. No. So,
I mean, Seamus is on a great tour, dude. All that guy does is play. He's the only non. Well, he did play Canada, missed the cut. So he plays Birdie Fest. He missed the cut. Travelers, he was 20th. He hasn't played a lot of events this year. I wonder why that is.
I'm not a huge Seamus fan this week. I am a huge Mark Hubbard flop lag week, though. Huh. Although he didn't make the cut last week. That was my pick.
I'm a Matt McNeely flop lag guy this week.
Yeah.
I guess if I was praying for anyone to putt, it would be Adam Svensson. I like Adam Svensson this week.
Yep. Someone just mentioned that right there.
Did they?
They just asked about Svensson.
And if you look at Svensson's numbers, this is one of the few places where he actually putts good. He gains with the putter at the John Deere TPC Deere Run.
Seamus needs a top 2 to get invited to the British.
Motivated. All right.
I thought that the Kentucky tournament, the Barbasol ISCO, was the last chance at getting to the Open Championship, but I guess it's not now.
What do you have to do? Win that one to get in? Because of where your status would be?
I think you have to win it, yeah. It's a DP World Tour event now, so we're going to get a bunch of those guys. Do Bombers have an advantage here? Antonio from Illinois, who I offended.
I believe they do, yes.
Okay.
I do.
Patrick Rogers, baby.
I mean, he's been great there. He's good. Bryson. I think Sepp Straka moves the golf ball. Alex Smalley, they moves the golf ball. They move it, man.
But that's the thing. There's no just one way to get to, 27 under par. That's 33, 35 birdies.
Oh, come on. 22 under par.
You think it's 22?
Well, that's the average over the last 10 editions.
Someone was 26, 27. That was Michael Kim.
Yeah, but he won by 8.
Yeah.
Right.
And he shouldn't have. He was in last place in every tournament. And then
all right. So all the other winners, 21, 21, 19, 21, 18, 22, 22 playoff, 20, 22 playoff. Both those playoffs were Spieth. So that's your last 10 outside of Kim.
Okay.
Right.
And you
And
mentioned Kim though, he's 27.
the guy's averaged 25 subpar scores over the last 5 editions. So it's, the same old formula. Can you get 36 birdie putts inside of 20 to 25 feet? And then can you make 2/3 of them in order to get to 25 subpar scores? So, I mean, how about Sepp that last day? Well, first of all, Sepp was 11 back of Jonas Blixt last year after round 1. He was 11 back. Sepp shot 73. Then he went what? Then he went like 63, 65, and then he went 62 the final day with a double bogey on the final hole.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. It's pretty good.
But just look at the winners. Stricker, Spieth, Zach Johnson, Michael Kim. It's great. I mean,
Ryan Moore, Brian Harmon, JT Poston,
Moore's a striper
of the Fratelli brothers, Michael Kim. All these guys not necessarily that long, although I think being long gives you an advantage.
Moore is a beauty tee to green, or at least once was. Michael Kim, great putter. JT Poston, great putter, great wedge player.
And Poston's approach and putter his putter hasn't been great all year, which has been interesting because he's
a spiker though. He's like Michael Kim had no form coming in.
Yeah.
So sometimes I think if Mac Hughes played this week, I think he'd win.
Mac Hughes.
Yeah.
I don't know. His game must not be in bad a shape as Jason Day or Jordan Spieth, so he didn't show up.
That's a very big point, which I agree with you on. It's like, why would you come to Silvis, Illinois, if your game didn't need some work in a tournament you haven't been in 9 years? Correct.
Club glove, Steve. That's all you need. Just go get yourself a club glove. It'll work forever. I've had mine like 15 years.
Who's this? What was the question? Oh, Steve Boynton. Yeah. Boynton has had a couple of questions this week. Club glove? Yeah. Look at this Stitch bag right here. Stitch is hot right now. It's a Saberson bag. We're giving that to someone in the Discord within the next 6 months.
Stitch is the best bag out there.
Do you agree with that? Like, 100%. Do you believe that? Why?
Yep. Let me see. Well, for a variety of reasons. Number one, the material they put on the outside makes it waterproof, right? So you just wipe it off when it gets dirty.
Yeah, it's light as hell too.
Number two, it's light for what it is. It's very stylish. So whatever logo you put on there, it pops. And it's simple. It doesn't have a lot of moving parts and everything. So I like it. I like the look of it.
I chased this last week, Antonio. I put in the Discord. I said,
does anyone bag?
Do you really?
Yeah, I do.
I thought really. I see them. Right, I see them in our pro shop at the Country Club Flex at Lexington Country Club. Everything's a Stitch bag, and they look nice too.
Yeah.
I chased Cam Champ last week.
I'll give you a flex. Hang on.
What do you got?
Hang on, you got to find it.
No Cam Champ, Antonio. No, don't do it.
No, I don't. No Cam Champ.
Just don't do it. I did it last week.
Why are we even talking about Cam Champ?
Because I smoked it in Discord. That's why. I take the ownership as a leader of the company. It was my fault.
There you go. Stitch.
What's that?
Right. It's something they sent me.
Oh, Flex. That's like Flex 9. A, you have friends. B,
wait a second. You want to talk about a flex, right?
What?
How about this thing, right? It's a divot tool. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Look at that thing. It's weighty, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hermes leather on that thing.
Nice. There you go, Steve.
I have good friends at Stitch.
No Cam Champ. Stitch bags only. Someone's getting a Saberson one. I forget his name, but he's in our Discord. I don't think it's Unc Hodges. I'll get his name.
Yeah, we can get him. Yeah, I got good friends at Stitch. We could do a deal.
Aaron Rye miscut right. I mean, I faded Aaron Rye last week. I've admitted now that he is a fantastic ball striker.
Oh yeah, 100%. What's interesting was watching how Rye, Young, Akshay, how all of them tried not to win. You know, how they all succumbed to the pressure, I guess would be the right way to put it.
Cam Davis, Australian.
It's hard to win, man. I mean, Cam Davis tried to throw it away. you know.
Cam Young did.
Cam Young for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't. Berger is just not gotten to where I think he should be at this point.
I mean, a good head-to-head that I would have trouble figuring out would be if I went on DK and they were like, who do you want? -110, Spieth or Berger?
Yeah. Tie.
Like, yeah,
Push.
exactly. Yeah, what's the tie for that?
Both
plus
plus
800?
2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll take it. Yeah, both missed the cut. Then it's a Friday afternoon scramble. I'm scrolling down to see who was +4 and who was +3.
We've talked about all the high-owned names, right? Here's the two that we have not talked about. One, Sanjay M, right?
Yep.
Probably the best, maybe outside of Spieth, the best name brand in the field. Probably the most successful, probably best talent in the field. But if he's here, probably struggling a little bit, right?
I mean, he's got 4 top 10s at his last 6 starts.
Then why is he here? To win? Can he win?
Because Sanjay was notorious for playing like 30 times a year. And he had a tough start to his season. A lot of people should have him left for one and done because he had a really difficult start to the year. And he'd be a great play for that this week because,
if you want a guy who make 26 birdies or 33 in my model, Im's that guy.
Oh, I mean, Im is he's wonderfully consistent. And, he was 3rd at Travelers, which is a great comp for this. It's almost the exact same golf course, really. Travelers plays a little shorter, but, overall, Im can move it when he needs to, and he's a great scoring machine. 62 on Sunday at Summerlin, another TPC course. Just really, really good. And, he's always been like the guy, like, oh, he's only good on Bermuda because he won the Honda. And he was great at Bay Hill that year or whatever. But look at all the work he's done on the West Coast on POA, and then he's been good on Bent. He's good at desert
Problem
golf.
is he hates wind. That's a fact.
How do you know he hates wind?
I know that as a fact. I'm just telling you this right now. I just got a fax.
Okay.
And I'm telling you this right now. You have to believe me. I know you're inside golf and inside baseball, but I'm telling you this specifically.
Okay.
Never play Im and win.
Okay. If I'm looking at this field and I'm looking at the guys that I want to target that are going to score in other places than the par 5s, because everyone scores on the par 5s, right? So that almost kind of like it becomes a very difficult. It becomes a very difficult place with which that you can all of a sudden then start to distance yourself from the field, right? And you start to look at the guys combined. If you look at par 3s and par 4 scoring, you're going to get a guy like Sanjay M right up near the top. You get guys like Novak up there, Rye, Hodges.
Huge Novak fan.
Davis Thompson, Justin Lauer, Ryu Hisatsune. These are the guys that if you take the par 5s away, like this, I've been saying this for a while about Davis Thompson. And the reason I didn't take him last week is because it was a par 72. And this week's a par 71. And if it was a par 70 out there at the DEERE Run, I would feel even better about Davis Thompson. The less par 5s there are, the better Davis Thompson tends to play statistically, right? So he's just really good on 3s and 4s. And that's where you're going to separate yourself. And if you look at this thing historically, right, over the last 10 winners, these guys have only averaged 3 strokes of a gain on the par 5s against the field. The winners have, right? Whereas on the par 4s, they're 3 times as much. Yes, I know there's more par 4s, everyone. But my point is this, is that everyone's going to birdie the par 5s. How are you going to separate yourself in this birdie fest? How are you going to get to those 25 subpar scores? You're only going to get to play. Well, okay, great. Yes. But you're further making my point, which is people don't make that many eagles, right? The Discord knows that, right? They know you're not a ladder salesman, no matter how hard you try. So what I'm saying is that
if 15 step ladder.
If you could just play the par 3s for the week, 2 or 3 under par, and then you could just really, really kill the par 4s, then you are going to be right there in the mix come Sunday. And it's whether or not you can handle it like Aaron Rye, or can you handle it like Cam Davis? So,
I've talked myself in on this conversation to M. You play him in a birdie fest.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you look at the places he's missing the cut, everyone doesn't like Sung Jae Im. They're like, oh, he's terrible right now because he missed the cut in all the majors. And then everywhere else, the guy's been like lights out.
Print.
He's been printing some damn money.
He's like 3 eagle guy this week.
God, I used to play this game on Monkey Knife Fight. Where you had to pick
RIP.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. Nick Solsky and the crew. Those guys are great. Anyway, they had an eagle game on there, and man, you had to pick. God, what was it? You had to pick 2 guys in the field to make an eagle, and it was. I just love playing that game, and I used to track eagles all the time.
It's always him. I mean,
it makes a ton of eagles.
Yeah.
Notorious.
All right. Here's the other one. Nasty player that I never can get right is Bo Hostler. Another chalky play this week. Good putter.
He's a
dirty Bo
play this week.
Yeah, he'd be popular in that range. He's about the same as your Shank.
Yeah, what's his course history then?
I'll tell you.
I mean, this is like everyone's all over Joel Damon because he's a great ball striker and everything. He doesn't putt, and they're like, oh, he'll spike with his putting. Look at Joel Damon at the DEERE, man. He came in runner-up once, and he has like 3 missed cuts. I don't get it.
Damon's just not the same Damon this year to me.
I mean, I don't know. Bo Hostler.
Nah.
I mean, just
26.
Yeah, I mean, what's interesting at the Rocket, like he did the things, he had a great approach game, and he was awful with the putter, which is usually just the opposite. So those types of things scare me, right? I want to see guys good at what they're good at, and if I need them to spike with the putter, so be it. But I want them to see them. I want to see them be good at what they're good at.
I don't mind that Chris Parrish.
Excuse me.
He's been doing great on the Corn Ferry Tour.
Hey, Harry Higgs has proven he can score.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, he's definitely. Oh yeah, we're around that time of the day, right?
And some of these guys really need to get the points here late season to remain on tour, right?
I mean,
otherwise they're disappearing.
I write about that. I mean,
where's Patrick Rogers? I mean, like,
I push these narratives all the time, man. They know exactly where they are in the rankings, and they have 5 events. Well, 6 events if you count this one left. No, 5
to get there.
They have 5 events, including Kentucky and the secondary ones. So this includes 5 weeks. They got to get to 70, and a lot of these guys are sitting at like 140 now. Then their goal is like, can I get to 125 because that gets me into the fall, and then I could fight again, right? And
think of any names that are just gone now. I mean, like Harry Higgs is one of them. You see him pop up periodically, but a lot of these guys that were on tour last year. Yeah, but you don't see them on tour anymore. I mean, they're just like it's a much stricter guideline in terms of whether you're not going to be a tour player.
I mean, I brought up the point about Spieth. Spieth's 59th. He's not even in the second round of the playoffs right now. And the way he's playing, why would he? He's 24th on the President's Cup points list.
There you go.
Look at the caliber of player that's just sitting there above the top 50. Aaron Rye, Mark Hubbard, Ben Griffin, Matt McNeely, Davis Riley, Eric Van Rooyen, Davis Thompson, Minwoo Lee, Eric Cole, Taylor Moore. I mean, these guys are all in the 50s, right? Let alone you start talking about guys, Novak, 87. I mean, these guys have Justin Lauer, 83.
Russell Knox,
Sam Stevens, 89. I don't have a screen long enough for Russell Knox.
No, he'd be in the 200s.
Joel Damon, 100. Ben Silverman, 102.
Smotherman, Naismith.
Like a Svensson would be another guy. Like, where is he?
They're getting close, dude.
Pearson Coody. I like him at the bottom. Good putter, good driver. I like him.
Pearson Coody? Really?
Yeah. Pearson Coody.
Is that your deep threat?
The deep threats I like this week are Matty Kuchar and Pearson Coody.
Who, by the way, Troy Merritt, props. I'll co-share that with you last week.
How about Dylan Wu? Wu-Tang came through, baby.
Excellent. Fantastic. Yes. Dylan Wu and Troy Merritt.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to Merritt this week. I won't go to Wu, but I'm going to go back to Merritt. I was looking through some Merritt interviews and his transcript, and he was Merritt was like, "I feel really good about my game. This is my favorite time of year to play golf, and these golf courses set up well for me." So Merritt's ready to deal this week or last week, this week, Kentucky, similar type of golf course.
He'll come to Kentucky and win. I mean, if he didn't have a win here already in Kentucky, I think he was close.
JJ Spawn, 154.
Carl Yuan, baby.
People talking about, Nick Hardy all this week, 159. Nick Hardy would love to be good.
Why did you skip over Carl Yuan?
I didn't have anything to say there.
Okay.
I'm looking at some of these names, man. Whoa. How are these guys even on? I mean, how about if you're like Thor Bjornsson?
Yeah.
He's
expensive.
Russell Knox, 202. There you go.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nope. I'd take
I could see from like Jason Day's point of view. Jason Day, I looked him up. Jason Day is sitting at high 20s, 28, right? He goes here and he picks up, like a top 5 finish, and he like secures Eastlake for himself.
Yeah.
For the most part, without having
Nick
to work.
Hardy's a local for this course, I believe. He lives in a local angle.
He went to Illinois. Yes.
I'm a huge Nick Hardy's like a Davis Riley type to me. Svensson type.
Yeah. I like Svensson this week. He very much like RSM Classic where he won, drive.
No Russell Knox. You just don't do Russell Knox. I chase that forever.
We did for a long time. I mean, any approach place similar like this, you'd like Russell Knox, make the cut, DFS lineup, 5K.
All right, who wins? 3:57 Eastern Standard Time and New Jersey time.
15:57. Let's see.
No, sorry, 3:57. 50:57. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I know military time. That's fine.
Yeah, can't get AM PM wrong.
Say Eric Cole, be the man. Support your friend.
You know what? Last week I said Matt Wallace and he missed the cut, so I'm going to say Eric Cole then.
Fuck off. Fine, it's fine. It's Eric Cole. Eric Cole, 24 under, Antonio. That's it.
I love Wednesdays. This is the best part of my week.
Eric Cole, 24 under. That's the score. Give me your actual pick. Don't succumb to my pressure.
No, where does it say something? Oh, no shirt and tie today, Keith. No, no.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I was I put on a little red, white, and blue. I put on a little America for you, little.
What's funny? What's funny is that the camera angle cuts off your license plate. I know it says director of fun, but all I see is director of FU. So I'm calling you the director of fucks. Oh, fuck.
There you go.
Ooh. That's not a Stitch bag, you liar. It's a TaylorMade bag.
Honestly, I mean, the amount of Stitch that's in my house, you don't even know.
It's crazy.
There's a lot of Stitch in my house. Yeah, we should talk about it sometime.
All right. Yeah, we should.
Yes, but I do have a beautiful half camo Stitch, read the line, logoed bag. It's like a navy gray camo.
Love that.
It's hot.
We need some for Run Pure Sports.
Yeah, I will. I'm going to take a picture of it, put it in Discord when I get off.
There you go. Just keep it away. Who's your winner? I said Eric Cole. Eric Cole, 24 under. M what score?
Oh, 22. Go with the average.
Okay.
Yeah. Sung J M, 22 under.
Who's your big fade? Spieth.
Well, I mean, that's already been there. Who else at the top?
In the high owned range, Spieth is your fade. You got McNeely, Rye, Straka, Davis Thompson, Lucas Glover, Denny.
I mean, yeah, I would say I'm not high on Poston. I like Dunlop to make a lot of birdies again. That's for sure. He hit the ball good last week. And obviously I'm going to go 14 weeks without Mitchell, and I feel great about it.
Yeah, I feel that too. Dunlop's playing great.
Dunlap in these types of situations,
easy courses.
He's very comfortable. Also easy fields, right?
Yep.
I think that's a big deal for him. And it wouldn't surprise me if Shipley and Clanton play well again too,
That's what I was
until
going to say. Do you go back to Shipley and Clanton? What has Shipley done wrong, right? He continues to produce.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that kid's done wrong is create that meme with his eyeballs at the Masters because he was freaking out because he's sitting in Butler cabin,
What was the question about? Was that Tiger? No, it was about what did Tiger say to you or hand to you or?
No, well, that was in the media room. That was when somebody asked him.
They say he handed him a note or some Zyn pack or something.
Yeah, it was like a Zyn or something. He's like, he didn't give me anything, and which was totally like Tiger said to him, "Don't ever tell anyone I gave you this." And he's like,
yeah.
No, it was when he was in Butler cabin and Nance was talking to him and he was like side-eyeing the person off screen that was like, don't look at me, look at the camera type of thing, yeah. I think we're gonna have some fun this week. I think what's interesting about the John Deere, and I'm happy for the John Deere because one, this is a fun golf course. I don't mind.
It's a great sponsor. It's a good tournament. It's memorable.
I think it's a really good tournament, and it's the only professional American tournament that's playing this week. There's no LPGA, no Champs Tour, no Corn Ferry. 4th of July weekend. You have off on Thursday. The Discord, I expect by high noon, everyone's drinking a bunch of high noons, and there's 10,000 messages in the Discord.
Right? Oh my God, they'll be so drunk.
Oh my God. What I'm going to do is I'm going to screen time or whatever you call Apple share the screen, right? At the house I'm going to down at the Jersey Shore. I'm going to put that thing right up on the screen and the thing's just going to keep going all day. And people are going to be like, who are these freaking people? And people will just walk by and they'll read something and they'll be like, oh my God, these people are out of their mind. And I'm like, this is what I love.
They are out of their minds.
I enjoy the time with you, but the build up and then the discussion all week, you just love it when people can just let it rip about players on there and they're not worried about Twitter or somebody getting bent out of shape or whatever. I mean, it makes it so much fun, it's just great.
And you're Pure Sports Director of Fox. That's
what you and Large Anthony have built around golf, I think is something that's very nice. I
appreciate that.
As a PGA pro, it's Director of Fox approved.
Ghost Champ, I'll be there. 10,000 messages in. Thank you.
Yeah, he'll be 9,000 of them. You kidding me?
Yeah,
guy's a legend.
I called him out on Monday or Tuesday, whatever show that was.
Oh, for what?
He's been in my grill for like 3 weeks, and he said, "You know what? In the Discord, I need to do better." So he's nice to me now. I don't want you to be nice to me. Come at me, bro.
Let's go. Jam's real name.
I don't take myself seriously. I need to be punched. Let's go.
I mean, Ghost Jam, if Wiley took himself seriously, you think he would wear a shirt that matches his tan? I mean, this guy looks like he tans like a rotisserie chicken. I mean, come on. What are we doing? Do you borrow that cream from Trump? That fake tanner? What are you doing?
I can't end like this, but I will. You director of fuckhead.
See you next week.